This is Dude to Bet Sports.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dude to Bet Sports for another week. Before I get off on a tangent here on all the stuff we're going to talk about, I'm having some audio issues. It's not as crisp as it should be. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but Papa Dude says it still sounds okay, so we'll go with it, Papa Dude. So
I really can't tell a bit of difference.
Okay, I will definitely be able to tell a difference, I can tell you, but that's okay. It's as long as everybody else says it's somewhat okay. The thing is, like this microphone right here, yeah, it's not working, so I don't know why. But anyway, we're back for another show. Bad start to the show for me and a bad week for us. We'll talk about that. We'll have a little bit of therapy later on in the show as well. That should be fun. All right, everybody says it sounds good, so okay.
I think it sounds fine.
Maybe I'm just insane. Maybe it's the microphone is on, it just says it's not on. That's possible as well. It shows up and then I click it and then it goes to the default, which is what the computer is. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're live. So let's talk about it. You've kind of got a list of stuff you want to talk about first before we get into the game, so I'll let you do that first.
Well, we always have a little segment here.
Right.
And we'll do it when we get to the NFL as well.
Yep.
We're doing college first. We got winners, losers, a new category today. Should we be worried? And one we're really looking forward to is a clinic on how you can lose a game you totally dominated.
Yes.
And some of our listeners are going to enjoy this one, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there were four, for me, obvious winners this week. Number one, of course, is Texas to me.
Absolutely.
Went up total domination. Michigan wasn't real surprised that they won the game, but they totally dominated the game, which you have to do if you're the number 2 ranked team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they went up there and took advantage of a Michigan team that's not quite ready offensively. So I thought they were clear winners this week. I was extremely impressed with what Tennessee did to North Carolina State as well.
Yep.
Just destroyed them. And they're coming to Norman, not this week, but next week. And they are way better than we are at this point.
Yep.
I put Nebraska in there because Nebraska is ranked. And I think that's how far they've come. I don't know how much stock you play in what they did to Colorado. I think Colorado's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But they killed them. And that's what they got to do. And their defense looks good. I heard Herb Street say that he sees them being 7-0, just like I do when they go into Ohio State. And I think they've got a legitimate chance. So they're looking good. And, of course, we have to mention Northern Illinois, which probably that's got to be the biggest win in their history, I would think.
We had a commenter, did not see the show live, but commented on the YouTube page after, said he was there live. He's I'm going to guess a Northern Illinois graduate or big fan or whatever. He was there live to see it happen. He listened to the show, not live, but after, and, was excited that we picked him with the points, but he was actually there. There he is. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
He commented on the YouTube page about how he was there. So congratulations. That had to have been an amazing place to be for NIU fans.
Mike, tell us, did you actually think they could win when you went, or did you just go because you wanted to go to Notre Dame?
I totally thought they could. I'm not going to go as far as say win.
No, don't tell us that.
One possession game.
Yeah. Oh, so he's also a huge Notre Dame fan.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree, Mike. I didn't either. I thought they could play them close. I thought that Notre Dame would pull it out at the end.
I did too.
And man, I don't know Northern Illinois history. I know they've had some good teams over the years.
Yeah.
This has got to be the biggest win they've ever had. And it had to be so much fun. I can just imagine being a fan and being in Notre Dame Stadium and you win that game. That's unbelievable. Yeah. So that's my big winners. Anything you can add to that? Is there any other team you can think of, maybe throw in there?
Nope, I think that's good. I think if you want to throw in one more, I know they didn't play anybody, but USC getting a shutout. I mean, I think they're definitely better. Bigger challenges ahead, obviously, for them, but very good win for them again.
So when we're talking about losers, obviously Notre Dame's the biggest loser, and this game is so huge, even though it's only the second game of the year. With their schedule not being very good, they may not make the playoffs, even if they run the table. And you made the comment they shouldn't for losing this kind of a game.
Mm-hmm.
They still have a huge game, and this is something that looks like it's going to happen. We don't know yet. It's only third week.
Mm-hmm.
They have USC left, which, that could be a playoff game. That possibly could
be.
If Notre Dame runs the table and they're 10-1, and let's say USC's 10-1, that could be a game to get into the playoffs. It's possible. But this has huge implications for Notre Dame, even though we've only played 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is going to come back to haunt them because they don't have the schedule to get a lot of big wins, at least in this point in the season. That could change.
So I want to jump in because I said it last week, and I'll say it again. And I'm not talking down to anybody, by the way. I'm just as guilty as everybody else at this. When it's the preseason and you look through a schedule, you go win, no, and you don't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, well, you look at Notre Dame as a team, you go, they're average, but look at all these games, they'll win them all. Average teams don't. You can't just go in and go, well, that's a win. Like Georgia, you can go through their schedule, so they'll win those games. But that's the difference between like really good teams and like an average team like Notre Dame. They can get beat any week, and you saw it.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't sit there at the beginning of the season and say, well, Northern Illinois got a great chance to beat them. I didn't say Houston's got a great chance to beat Oklahoma either. The point I'm trying to say is all these teams, you just kind of assume they're going to win in the preseason, and then you get into the season, and it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. It's college football. And these upsets happen to these middling type of teams all the time.
They do.
In Notre Dame, this is Freeman through and through. You can count on it now. It's a trend. So anyway, go on with your list.
Well, I will say this too. I had a whole lot more fear of Houston beating Oklahoma than Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame. I never even gave that a thought. That's one I didn't even think about.
I would guess that's true.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, this is a massive upset. I think another loser is Kentucky getting drilled by South Carolina.
Yeah.
And they got Georgia this week. That is not – Dennis, you need to cheer this. I'm sure you're happy about that.
Yeah.
But that was a beat down.
Yeah.
So that was a bad loss. Kansas losing at Illinois. I know you liked Illinois a lot, and I realize that, but come on, this was a ranked team that was supposed to be really good. They didn't win. Illinois will win 5 or 6. You got to win that game.
Yeah, if you're going to be a little bit more than what Kansas has been, you got to win that game. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm talking about recent Kansas teams that have been decent. It's like, okay, you're going to take the next step now and be a little bit better than decent. You have to win, and
suddenly you're looking at 7 and 5.
You're looking at what Kansas is when they're
not taking that step.
No.
And again, don't overreact, but still bad loss.
Bad loss.
I thought SMU getting beat up by BYU was bad for the ACC.
Well, and I think with SMU, you kind of look at the rest of the ACC and you go, well, if they can kind of get going, they might be kind of a dark horse, and then you lose. And I know it's not an ACC game, but still, you lose to BYU on your home field.
Yeah.
And also to lose it the way you lost it, where you just look like shit for most of the game.
You got physically whipped.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. They did get dominated up front.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. BYU is tough. That is a tough program. And for them to be rated as low as they are is ridiculous. For them to only have been a 14-point favorite over Southern Illinois is the nuttiest, craziest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
And I'm kicking my ass that I didn't pick them against SMU, not maybe to win, but to cover.
Yeah, to cover.
This program's a proud program. The guy that coaches up there is a tough son of a buck, I'll tell you.
Yep.
He realized in the offseason they weren't strong enough. They weren't tough enough. Now, they may take it down the stretch. I don't think so. In the Big 12.
They're not a good team. Well, let me jump in. They're not a good team.
They're not a great team. But the Big 12's not very good either. Overall, and coming out to BYU is not going to be easy for anybody in that Big 12.
That's fair, but they don't have any explosiveness, and that's
no,
going
they
to get
don't.
it. in a lot of these games. But they might be better than what everybody thought.
I mean, come on, 14-point favorite at home against Southern Illinois. They're a hell of a lot better than that.
Well, that's true, and we pointed that out, and we cashed on that. Yeah.
All right, 3 teams. Should we be worried? We know which one of them is. We'll get to them last. Oregon. Should we be worried? They have played 2 games, barely won them both. Now, Boise State is not bad, but if you're as highly ranked as Oregon and you're playing them at home, you only win by 3. I think they have issues.
I think we'll talk about their game this week specifically. They don't look great. Now, look, the first game, they 24-14 against Idaho. Idaho did go beat Wyoming, so that's not a helpless football team. And then, like you said, Boise's not terrible. Obviously, they're a team that we thought they might be able to be. But here's the thing you got to look at. When Boise went to Washington last year, and I know it's different teams, but when Boise went to Washington last year, Washington beat the shit out of them, right? And that's what a national championship caliber team should do to Boise. And I'm not saying beat them by 40, but you shouldn't be in the fourth quarter sweating the game out, right? So they've got problems.
If you're as good as Oregon's supposed to be, you should have beat them 51-24.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's fair. Or even 45 to 25.
Yeah, and you're not sweating it out.
Right. Yeah.
So they have some issues. I don't care what Idaho did to Wyoming. Even though stats, Oregon dominated them, I don't know what happened where it was only 24-14, but you got to beat them worse than that. Yeah. Michigan, should we be worried? I'm not worried about them yet. I didn't think they could beat Texas this soon.
Oh, now, I would be. They're terrible.
If they don't, well, you can say the same thing about the next team then, if you're going to say that about Michigan.
Well, I will, because
defensively is okay. Texas is really good. And
so they are, and I think the Michigan defense is pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought they did okay for what they were asked.
Right.
That is bad offensively at Michigan.
They're going to have to. They have a young kid that they're going to have to make a decision on.
Yep.
And but this is a team that will get better as the season goes along.
I agree.
And they got a couple of games they can win. So should be worried? Yes. They're not going to be what we thought. And then, of course, the last one is our team, Oklahoma, which has been a train wreck. And this is a team that suddenly, and again, we're overreacting somewhat, but they have so many issues on offense, and they haven't played anybody yet, and they're struggling, and everybody's crowing about their defense. Their defense has played nothing. Everybody says, well, our defense will keep us in the game. You kidding me? You think with this shit fire of an offense, you're going to beat Tennessee?
No.
Tennessee's going to come. I don't care how good you are defensively. They're going to score 28 points.
Easily. Yeah.
There's no way this team's beating Tennessee. There's no way this team may beat Tulane.
There's no way the team on Saturday will beat Tulane if that's what you said. No.
Now, there are excuses, and they are legit. They're beat up.
Yeah.
They have a young quarterback, and they're beat up. They have receivers. They don't have any because their top receivers are out. They're all hurt. Their offensive line's banged up. They don't have a legitimate running back. But the number one problem is they cannot run the football. They can't run.
They don't have an offensive line.
No. And I was listening to a lot of it this week. I'm sure you have on Sooner radios, whatever those shows are, podcasts, whatever. All of them are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You got to start being able to run the ball, and that'll solve a lot of issues. And they can't run the ball. So
sometimes when you go to a game, it's kind of hard to see exactly what's happening. I watched the game back because I left the game thinking I don't think these running backs are very good. I totally have a different. When you watch the film,
they have nothing.
No, I think their running backs are fine.
No, that's what I mean. They don't have anywhere to go.
No, they have nowhere to get. Right, we're saying the same thing, just differently. Yeah, they have nowhere to run, and like Javonte Barnes, who I was kind of critical of on the way home the other night, I was just saying I don't think he's very good. No, you watch him like he's like flying towards the line and just bam, he's down.
Yeah.
Because he has nowhere to run.
No.
It's bad, and it could get this could be really like everybody's fired at the end of the year bad right now.
If they don't win Saturday, and it's 50-50.
I really believe sometimes you definitely overstate the other opponent's chances against Oklahoma. I don't think you are here. I think it's a coin flip game. I really believe that because Tulane is pretty good. They played a team that right now is light years better than Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Defensively.
Yeah.
I'm with you, and I think our defense I think it's good.
It's good.
We know what those guys are when they play better teams.
Yeah.
It's not a shutdown defense. It's a team that's going to give up. I think they will give up 20 points, 24 points this weekend.
Oh, I do too.
And I don't know
well
or not.
Play pretty well.
I think OU is teetering on the brink of an all-time epic
I do too.
fail of a season.
And it's just okay. Temple, they played Temple, worst offense in Division I, probably. And then you got Houston. Houston's whole game plan was to come in and control the clock.
Correct.
They didn't try to go downfield.
No.
It was to control the clock.
Right.
And they did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
And that's a sign that we couldn't get off the field. Yeah. You know, they made first downs at one time. The time of possession was 31-17 in favor of Houston.
Yeah.
How many games do you think Houston's going to win? 3 or 4?
Well, that's another huge problem because the defense, the way the offense is playing right now, the defense is going to be on the field a lot. And they wore down, and they should have in that game. So
they played great.
They did. No, and again, we can sit here and talk, well, this defense, they're going to get exposed. But the bottom line is they are still good. I mean, we're not saying this is a bad group.
No.
What we're saying is if the offense isn't any better, it's not going to matter.
You got Tennessee on the schedule. Mm-hmm. You got Mississippi. There's 2 teams right there that are going to put up 30 points on you.
Texas.
I'm not even counting them.
Missouri.
There's 3, Alabama, Missouri. There's 5 right there. They're going to put 30 on you.
Yeah.
They're going to put 30 on you.
They're going to at least put the high 20s on you.
Exactly.
Not a lot more.
You're not going to beat them 16-12.
Absolutely not.
It's not going to happen. So there's huge issues.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the quarterback. A lot of them are defending him. And maybe that's okay. Now, Dennis said something about, I think, putting Penn State on the losers.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of anticipated that game as well. Not ready to put them there yet because they won. Yeah. They won the game. And I see where you're coming from. You know, that was one I did think about. So those are the 3 teams I think that right now that are ranked to we should be having some question marks, but things can change.
I'll jump in. The other thing on Penn State, they did look pretty good week 1.
They did.
These other teams you're talking about, they've had back-to-back weeks where it's been because you think of Oregon, we were worried week 1. We thought they'd bounce back, and I guess they played better, but they're still worried. You look at week 1, Michigan, we're like, that wasn't great against Fresno. It wasn't great against Texas. And even week 1, Oklahoma, you look at the final score of that Temple game, you think, oh, great game for them. Their offense did nothing. They got 6 turnovers, short fields, and scored. So, and again, week 2. So that's 3 teams that 2 weeks in a row they just had.
Right. I know it was 6-0 on turnovers in the Temple game. I think it was 2-1 in our favor in the. When you got a turnover margin of 7 in your favor, mm-hmm. and you're not doing any better than what you're doing. When you look at the total yards against Temple, it's like 300 and something.
Yeah.
It was 249 against Houston. That is unheard of.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma. That's just unheard of. I know it was 12.
Honest to God, that's what OU should get in a half against Temple.
They usually do. So
yeah, and usually do. Yeah. All right. So you got one more. Hold on.
Yes, clinic on how to lose a game you dominated.
Yeah.
That distinction goes to Arkansas.
So I've got a crazy stat on this Arkansas.
All right, go for it.
Okay. Since 2020, there have been 338 games where a team put up 550 plus yards and outgained its opponent by over 200 yards.
Okay.
So since 2000, since the COVID year, 338 games where you put up 550 yards and outgained the opponent by over 200 yards. Those teams are 337-1.
And they're the one.
They're the one. The average score in those games, those 338 games, is 53-15.
God.
The last loss that met this criteria before Arkansas was Miami in October 5th, 2019. This was an epic loss.
Oh. Well, you say 550. They had 648 yards.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State had 385. So they outscored them outgained them 275 yards. 33 first downs to 21. Here is a statistic that you never see either. Arkansas had 232 yards rushing. Oklahoma State, with the best running back in some people's minds in the country, had 59 yards rushing.
Yeah.
This game shouldn't have been close.
No. And if you watched the game in the first half, you're watching that and you're going, they could win by 40. That's how much better they are right now than Oklahoma State.
It was a horrible loss. If I'd have been an Arkansas fan, I'd have wanted to shoot myself. The turnover margin wasn't that bad. It was 3-1, but the turnovers were in horrible times. I think they returned one for a touchdown, didn't they? Didn't Oklahoma State intercept one or something?
They intercepted a pass, ran it all the way back, and then they got a fumbled punt that basically gave them another score.
Yes, there's 14 points.
If the fumble punt doesn't happen, they probably never win the game.
Yeah, they got crucial penalties. Some of them were questionable, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they missed a field goal to win the game in the first overtime.
Well, no, not exactly.
Well,
they missed their field goal.
And they're close to
theirs. But if Arkansas makes the field goal, that doesn't necessarily mean they would have won.
That's true.
But but you're right.
They got to make it, and they missed.
They also missed the field goal in regulation.
Yeah,
they take one as well to get the
that
game.
Was the one they could have won the game then, couldn't they? Yeah,
what's that?
They could have won the game on that one.
No, they couldn't have won it, but they could have extended the lead. The field goal they made was
they missed that
field goal to get the game into overtime.
They did what? They made
the field goal at the end of regulation put the game into overtime.
That's true. He did make it.
They didn't have a field goal to win the game ever. No.
Yeah. And then he also missed one. He also missed one in, I think, the fourth quarter that would have put him up 10.
Yeah, they went 1 for 3 in field goals.
Yeah. And they were, 46. They weren't chip shots, but, you got to make one of those. You shouldn't have even been in that situation.
Well, no, that's just the whole point of it is you're sitting there talking about kickers. Like, there's no way the kicker should have been an irrelevant data point in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they just, it was awful.
So the good news, I think, for Arkansas fans, you do have some offense.
Yeah.
You are better.
Yeah.
You got to bury this somehow and go get the next one.
Yeah.
And get better each week because you have improved a lot. Even, you stuffed Gordon for Oklahoma State. He got like 45 yards and 17 carries.
They kind of shut him down for the most part.
You did.
I mean, and I'm talking about the whole offense.
So maybe Oklahoma State sucks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they've got to somehow bury this and go get UAB this week and keep progressing, because the good news out of this is they're pretty good. They're not bad.
Yeah.
They dominated a team that is, they're ranked, whatever they are, 13th.
Yeah.
I don't know how. And they dominated them on their home field.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for the Razorbacks, but they should be 2-0.
Oh, listen, if they would have done what they're supposed to do, I mean, we would be sitting here thinking, shit, they're pretty good, because
I was thinking that the whole game.
Oh, I did. The whole first half was like, damn, this is a much improved team.
Good team. They found a running back. Do some stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. But anyway, now we're here, and I don't know what to say. I mean, there's blowing a lead because maybe the team you're playing is just as good, and maybe you get ahead of them and they come back, and you don't know how to really close out a game, and that's happened to them a lot. This is a whole nother stratosphere. This is just completely gift wrapping and handing a game.
Yeah, they lost the game.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State did not win the game.
They did not. No, absolutely, they did not.
Yeah. Sorry, Arkansas people, but there is hope.
So one last thing. Dennis said he had Oklahoma State -8. I had Oklahoma State -7.5. And I told him, I said, they're going to miss this field goal. And that they're going to score because the idiot was so conservative and played for a field goal like a fucking moron.
He's talking about Gundy.
You're talking about Gundy. Okay, so the score's tied. Arkansas misses a field goal. Idiot Gundy, like so many of these moron millionaire coaches, instead of just letting their best players go win the game for them, they run the ball up the middle twice, take a knee on third down, let this kid go out and kick a field goal. He misses it, of course. Happens all the time, every week. These coaches, I would fire him on the spot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I told you, I said, I guarantee you Gordon breaks a run and they score a touchdown when they get the ball in the second overtime. What happened? He breaks a run. They score a touchdown. They get the 2 point. And I said, they're going to cover. They're going to cover this game.
And he got it.
And they got it. And, of course, Arkansas goes down to like the 4. And I'm like, well, shit. They're going to score now, too. And the cover is dead. But then they can – I underestimated, well, Arkansas will still do something dumb here and not get it, So, yeah.
Well, anyway. I think you were afraid they would score but then not get the 2-point conversion.
Well, even if Arkansas scores at that point and gets it, the cover's over because then it's going back to 2-point conversions back and forth, and they can't get there. So the only possible way for them to get there, they did it.
Yep.
So maybe I should be happy with Gundy.
So all ended well for you.
And did I not say as we were driving?
Yes, you did.
He ran up the middle on first down. He ran up the middle on second down. Did I not say he's going to take a knee and this kid's going to miss this field goal?
Yep.
Exactly.
And it was a long field goal.
And do you know why I say that? Because I see it every week and it never changes. And I don't get it. It's not just him. It's all these idiots. I'll just never understand that ever. It's crazy, especially in college. It's a college kid.
Yeah. Can I mention something that has nothing to do with football? Because you just reminded me of something.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, it's real.
What's it about?
No, it's about baseball.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's what I don't understand in baseball. When you get into these extra innings now, and you got that runner on second base with nobody out. Okay, I can see in the top of the 10th inning, maybe not bunting that runner to third.
Yeah.
I can see that because one run may not win it for you anymore because the other team starts with that runner at second base too. I can see it.
Yeah.
But let's say that team gets through that 10th inning and they don't score. Why in the hell, in the bottom of the 10th, you don't bunt that runner to third base? I do not know.
No, fair. Yeah, if it's say the game's 2-2 and you're the home team, you get through the top of the 10th and it's 2-2. How do you not bunt? I agree.
I see it time after
unless Ohtani's up or somebody like that.
Well, exactly. But
there's
my
situations.
God.
But yeah,
you do it in the 6th inning. You do it in the 7th inning. I see it all the damn time.
Yeah.
And you don't bunt that runner over when all you need is a run to win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes no sense. I agree. If you got a slugger coming up there that can't bunt, I was talking to your cousin, my niece. We were talking about this, and she goes, "Nobody can bunt." That may be true.
That's a lot of it too.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's situational, but
yeah.
All right. One last thing. Again, if it's desperation, if you have to kick a field goal, if it's 4th and 12 and you just can't, that's one thing. But don't play for field goals ever. Okay. Let's go to the games this week. How about it? Let's get going to the college football ranks here first. And we have a ranked game on Friday to kick us off. And this, honestly, this probably is the best game of the week as far as ranked games go. Maybe it's debatable. We'll talk about them all. Arizona and Kansas State. At Kansas State, it's a Friday night. K-State coming off a big win. Arizona's played two, lesser teams. Look good one week, not so good the next. K-State is 7-point favorite here. Total style clash. What do you think about this one?
I think this will be a really good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Should be. Yeah. K-State
impressed me by the way they came back. They probably shouldn't have won that game against Tulane. From what I'm hearing from the Tulane people that I've been listening to on the OU podcast, they gave it away. but they won, and that's what Kansas State does. And I think this is a tough spot for Arizona to come into on a Friday night in Manhattan. I think it's a tough spot. I think K-State wins. The key is, can they cover the 7? It's going to be a really good game. I'm going to go with K-State to cover.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from the game because I don't know enough about Arizona.
Right.
K-State, you kind of feel like you know who they are, and you kind of lay it out.
Yeah.
Arizona, I'm not sure. Can they go to K-State and score enough to win/cover? I think it's 50-50. I don't know who Arizona is this year. I'm going to stay away. If you made me bet it, I would take K-State. But
that's what I would do too.
I don't know. That's going to be a very interesting game. It's a style clash game as well, and I hate betting those. Where it's just because you know and understand coming into this game, if Arizona can make it a back and forth game, they're at least going to cover. And if it gets to be a little bit of a slower pace, you kind of think K-State will probably cover. So it's tough for me. All right, we're both on K-State. If you made us pick, though. All right, let's go to Saturday, and the big noon kickoff here will be Alabama and Wisconsin. And you got Wisconsin here at home trying to pull off a big upset. 16-point favoritism towards Alabama. They struggled last week. Maybe they'll look ahead game. Who knows? What do you think about this week?
Well, this is kind of a clash of styles as well. Although Wisconsin has tried to go to the air raid offense, not real successful yet. We know they're well coached.
Yeah.
And we know this place is going to be a freaking zoo.
Yeah.
Camp Randall's a great college venue. I'm not going to bet it because I don't know Alabama enough yet. I don't think that was impressive last week. They may have been looking ahead a little bit. I don't think so. I can't bet against them, so I'm going to stay away from it. I know a lot of people are on Wisconsin. I don't know if Wisconsin's got enough offense to beat that spread.
Alabama's going to kill them. I'm confident Alabama will kill them.
Leaning that way. I don't think Wisconsin's got enough speed and offense. I think they'll get shut down.
I couldn't say I would be totally shocked if Wisconsin covered the game because 16 points on the road. I mean, I get that that's a lot.
Yeah,
maybe I overestimate it, but if Alabama doesn't win by 10, let's say, I'll be pretty surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Wisconsin right now at all.
No, I'm not either. I'm not high enough on them to bet against Alabama.
Yep. All right. So we're both on Alabama there. I'm on Oklahoma State big time in this one. Oklahoma State, a minus 18.5 on the road against Tulsa. You know, you put air quotes on the road because anytime OU or OSU goes up to Tulsa, it's usually a crowd that favors OU or OSU.
Yeah.
OSU and OU both very close to Tulsa. So 18.5 doesn't seem like a whole lot for B. They escaped. I just don't think this will be that close. But what about you?
If they're ready.
Yeah.
Tulsa will be. This is a huge game for them. I would like Tulsa a lot better had they won last week, but they couldn't do it. I don't think they have enough defense. I think Oklahoma State will run it down their throat. However, they didn't against Arkansas. Yeah. It's a little bit of a touchy game because these are the kind of games that the Cowboys sometimes don't play well. It doesn't mean much to them. You know, it's one of those games where Tulsa has everything to gain, nothing to lose, and Oklahoma State's supposed to win by 19. I can't – I'm staying away from it. But if I was going to bet it, if I was going to throw some money on it, I'd throw it on Tulsa. I just would.
Okay. All right.
I just would. But I'm not going to bet it because I don't have enough confidence in the Golden Hurricane.
So Dennis says, can they come out a little flat? I honestly think it'll be the opposite because it was a win, but it was really the way they played that they played a losing game and won.
They did.
So I actually think they'll play better this week because of what happened last week.
Yeah.
Where the opposite could be true if they dominated and just beat the hell of them, then they might be a little bit flat. So
let me ask you a question.
By the way, he likes Tulsa. Sounds like Dennis is kind of leaning Tulsa as well. So maybe
if I was going to bet it, I'd throw some money on Tulsa. Not very much. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Last year around this time, Oklahoma State was totally inept offensively.
Yes.
Going through quarterbacks 2 and 3.
Yep.
Would you have more confidence in Mike Gundy at Oklahoma right now, pulling that offense out than what we have down there? And I'm not knocking the offensive people at all. I'm just saying history has showed us what Gundy can do.
Let's save it for when we talk about the game. How about?
Okay.
When we talk about the OU game, I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
have some thoughts on that.
Okay.
Possibly. LSU and South Carolina will be next. College game day in South Carolina.
Wow.
I want to just recap how crazy college football is.
Yeah.
Week 1, South Carolina nearly loses to Old Dominion.
That's right.
In fact, they were in huge trouble.
Yep.
Now, to their credit, they pulled it out. Week 2, they have to go to Kentucky. Everybody says, well, they're going to get murdered. They killed Kentucky. Every facet of the game, they killed them. South Carolina, who just 2 weeks ago nearly had a season disaster, now hosts College game day, and is only a 7-point underdog to LSU, who has not looked great either week. What is going to happen in South Carolina? Can they actually beat them and now be 3-0, or will they kind of go back down to earth a little bit?
Well, you're right. I have heard them bragging on their defense. They've got an edge rusher that must be an animal. He's a freshman, 18 years old. He is tearing people up.
I've got good news for the young man. He's coming to Norman, and that will be a fun day for him. Anyway, go ahead. October 19th.
Look at his chops.
He's circled October 19th. He's
already circled that one on their calendar.
I can set the national sacks record. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, this place is going to be nuts. Gamecock fans are as loyal as they come.
Oh, yeah.
Even seats like 80,000.
Yep,
they pack it. They've never been real good. You know, when Spurrier was there, they had some moments, but usually they're, 8-4 is really good for them.
Yep.
I'm picking South Carolina to beat them.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. I don't. Okay. I'll go the +7. I'm not going to go on the money line.
I pray you.
I think they're going to shut their ass down. I think they're going to beat them.
I'd love to see it. I
don't think LSU's any good.
I would love to see that. I would.
Think their quarterback's good enough. I think if South Carolina doesn't give them points, I don't know how good their offense is. I don't know, but I think they got a great shot to beat them.
All right. Well, we're on the opposite of a lot of these games. It'll be interesting. I'm on LSU. I
just don't like LSU right now.
I don't buy South Carolina either. That's the problem.
Yeah, they don't win these games. You're right.
No, I don't think South Carolina will beat them. Give me LSU in this one,
Okay.
with the points. Give me LSU
That's
-7. I think they'll win this game pretty easily.
Well, if they don't, you're going to hear some bitching down in Baton Rouge.
Well, yeah, you absolutely are. So, yeah. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. We're on opposites to a lot of these. Will we be on opposites here? Arkansas State, listen, they're not bad.
No,
I'm not saying they're great, but they're not
Nope.
bad. They go on the road to take on Michigan. Michigan's a 23-point favorite. Ooh, this is interesting.
I know. Okay. They beat Fresno by 21, right?
Yes, and I would say Fresno's better than Arkansas State.
That's where I was going.
You stole my logic that I was going to lay out on everybody. Yeah, go ahead.
It's all going to be, can Arkansas State score 17?
Yeah.
If they can score 17, I think you take them if you think they're going to, because I don't see Michigan scoring more than 35.
I agree.
But I don't know if they can score that. I just don't know. I'm staying completely away from this. I just don't. I just can't. I don't have the guts to go against Michigan.
Both Dennis and Mike kind of saying the same thing. If they can't cover, you're pretty worried about this team.
Yeah.
That could be a reality. I think Michigan will cover this game, though. I'm with you. Arkansas State, they're not terrible, but they're still not good enough to come up here. So, yeah, it very well could be 24-0, 31-7, and that is a cover.
Could.
So,
yeah,
I think they cover.
That's why you got to stay. You just got to stay away from it.
Yeah.
There's better.
Yeah,
there's better stuff.
All right. Ron says, do you guys actually bet these college football games? Yes. I have no idea who is on any of these teams anymore, who transferred, etc. Well, listen to the show. That would be one thing you could do, or just pick up a magazine and read. Or if you don't want to bet college football, you don't.
Here's the thing, Ron. we don't have near enough time to go over who transfers everywhere since every team's got about 24 new players on it. Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. College football, yes, it's
nuts.
college football has been very good over the years for Papa Dude, and through 2 weeks, I have done well. So we'll see if we can keep it going.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, here's the deal. Ron is a huge horse bettor.
Yeah.
This is not even close to the grind of horse racing. Not even close. You pick up a magazine, you read who's gone where, and you know it for the whole year. This is simple compared to horse racing. All right, let's keep going.
And you listen to us and you bet against us.
Well, we're going to do whatever you want, but you would not be doing well if you've done that the first 2 weeks.
That's right. You need to listen to us. And you're right. If you're a big time horse bettor, you may not have time to get into this too much.
I would say one card handicapping horse racing is harder than the whole week of handicapping in college football.
If you're serious, yes.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Boston College and Missouri here. Missouri is a 16-point favorite here. It's a ranked matchup. Boston College could be a little phony. We talked about it when we picked Syracuse to cover that game last week. And we said, okay, sure, Georgia Tech beat Florida State. What does that mean? They're not any good. Right. So Boston College is ranked mainly because they beat Florida State. They're no good. So they get overvalued a little bit. I think that's why Boston College is ranked. But Missouri, 16-point favorite. I think they cover this easy. What about you?
It's all going to depend on if Boston College can run the ball and control the clock. They might be able to. I'm not betting against Missouri either, but I guarantee you one thing. They ain't number 6 in the country.
It's hard to say who they are because they haven't played anybody.
Right.
This at least is we know, okay, look, maybe I'm not totally disrespecting Boston College because we know they're better than what Missouri has played.
They're very well coached too. That guy's
Boston College is like a top 40 team.
Yep.
Well, that's a hell of a lot better than what we see Missouri play. So at least we'll know. Yeah.
But Missouri has killed both teams. So they've done exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
The key is going to be, can Boston College run the ball like they did against Florida State? If they can control the clock, keep the ball away from Missouri. If they don't turn it over, they could cover that. We've seen Missouri not play well in games like this. Is this an elite team? Mm-hmm. This is a good test for them. Mm-hmm. I say they cover this. That's a good job for them. They don't need to blow them out. They need to cover it. If they do that, they're pretty dang good, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yep. I think you're right. And I think with Missouri, the biggest thing for them and people that, don't follow Missouri every year, like we live here, right? So these are the type of games that you can really tell, okay, are they a little bit better than what Missouri's quote unquote better, or are they kind of just what they've always been? Mm-hmm. If you look up and they win by 7 or 10, you go, well, they're not quite there. Right. Yeah. But if they cover the game, you're right. It's like, yeah, they're pretty darn good. So yeah, I think they'll play really well. I think they'll cover.
I think they'll be ready.
This game's fascinating.
It is.
Oregon and Oregon State. At Oregon State, of course, there's got to be just the baddest of bloods between these two schools after what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, Oregon State's looked decent the first 2 weeks.
Yes, they have.
Oregon has not. Oregon is a 16-point favorite. Oregon beat Idaho by 10. And then they beat Boise State by 3. Mm-hmm. What makes anybody think they're going to beat Oregon State at Oregon State in a rivalry game by 16?
I think Vegas and a lot of people think because Oregon State and Washington State aren't in a conference anymore, they suck. These two teams were pretty good last year. Wazoo has been pretty solid since Leach was up there, and they've hung in there and been pretty good. They took it to Texas Tech last week.
Yeah.
I'm taking Oregon State plus 16. I don't think they win, but I'm taking them.
I think they've got a shot to beat them.
They might.
I really do. I think this will be a tight game. I'm with you. I'm not going to take them on the money line, but I'm going to take Oregon State plus the 16. And by the way, people are mentioning it, the Pac-6. If you've missed the news, the Pac-12 is actively regaining teams for, I believe it's not next season, but the next one. And they added 4 Mountain West teams: Boise State, Fresno State. I can't remember who were the other 2. I read
Probably
it.
San Diego State, maybe.
San Diego State was the other one, and there was one more. So they're up to 6.
Nevada.
Yeah, God, hold on. Let me
Colorado
see.
State.
Colorado State. That was the other one. Colorado State, San Diego State, Boise State, and Fresno State will join Oregon State and Washington State. So they're up to 6. They'll probably get some more, I would imagine. So that's
you know what they'll probably do. They'll probably go over there and try to talk South Dakota State and North Dakota State, and maybe go in D1.
Well, that would be amazing if they did that.
Yeah. And then what's the Mountain West going to do? They're going to have to find some.
I don't know. I speculated this morning that they should probably go get UNLV. I think that would be the next.
Yeah,
team.
because they give you that Vegas. Yeah.
Yep. If you could get UNLV and then get you, I think they really need 10, and maybe go back to the Pac-10, which was what they originally were. So I don't know. But anyway, interesting kind of developments there. All right, we're both on Oregon State. It does kind of feel like a suckerish line, but I don't know.
If Oregon's not going to play any better, I don't see him.
I don't either.
Doing it, you know.
Mike says if I was back 12, I would go after Tulane and UNLV. Tulane, I think, makes a ton of sense. Do they want to keep it territorial is the only question there. These conferences don't anymore.
Yeah, they don't care.
But Tulane,
I think it's up to Tulane if they'd want to travel like that.
You know, maybe go get who would make sense in the Pac-12 instead of the Big Ten. Maybe UCLA and USC in California.
It might make a lot of sense. Yeah, don't get Cal and Stanford back.
Yeah, I don't know. No, anyway. All right, let's keep going. Ball State and Miami. I don't think I've ever thought of that. You know, Pac-12, those teams would make sense. Miami, a 36.5-point favorite. I don't know. Is there anything to talk about here?
No, they should cover.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing really to break down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You either want to lay it with them or you don't. You know? Either way. All right. Tulane and Oklahoma. Oklahoma, 13.5-point favorite. We were walking to the car and we thought this might fall at like 9.5 or 7.5.
Yeah.
It opened at 14.5. It's down to 13.5 now. I got to think we're both on Tulane here, but I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. So
no, I'm definitely on Tulane. I've seen Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it can be fixed in a week. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have any playmakers, and they don't, and your quarterback isn't good enough to do it on his own, which very few are, you don't have the hosses up front. You don't have any receivers. Your best ones are hurt. I don't care who you are. You lose your top 4 receivers, you're going to be hurting.
Yep.
And folks, they played a midget last week. Most of the game, receiver weighed about 140 pounds.
They played 2.
You can barely see him.
They played 2.
You can barely see him. And the running backs are just average. They're pedestrian. I don't know how you change it in a week. I don't know.
Okay, so here's my hope. Nick Anderson is supposed to be back at wide receiver, and I do think that makes a big difference because he's got good size. So if you can have Anderson and Burks and the 2 tight ends, who I think are decent,
they are.
I think that solves a little bit of a problem. So that's good. Again, after watching the backs, I think they're okay. They just don't have anywhere to go. But the offensive line is a major disaster. And to me, this is pretty simple. If the line plays better, I think they will win. I still don't think they'll cover. So I think it's a game it's going to be about the offensive line and if they are better. But
okay. Tulane, how many points do you think they're going to score? I would say you hold them to 20. That's pretty good.
I would say Tulane scoring 24 points.
Okay,
if you got to make me guess a number, it'd be 24. Yeah.
24?
Yeah, I do.
We're going to lose. We may lose.
I think OU's going to win like 27-24 or lose like 24-17. I think
I don't see how they can score 27 points right at this moment. I don't know. Unless they get a special teams or a
special teams. A special team score? Are you kidding me right now? That's the worst special team return units I've ever seen in my life.
Block a punt, maybe.
They could block. No, they could block a punt. Their punter is very good. They have a very good punter.
Yeah. Pick up a fumble, run it in.
Yeah.
Defensive touchdown.
That could happen. A defensive touchdown. I'm confident that
I'm not confident they're going to win. I would take the win, and I don't care how right at the moment.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. I'm taking Tulane.
You asked me if I'm confident in the coaching staff. Would I rather have Gundy? No. But
I'm talking about getting this turned around.
no, from an offense, still no.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Seth Luttrell, offensive coordinator,
Not knocking him.
he's never had a bad offense anywhere.
No, he hasn't.
Ever. I just can't imagine in 2 games he's forgotten how to put a great offense on the field.
He hasn't.
I don't think it's him.
I don't
Also,
either.
when you watch the game on TV, there are guys running open, and the quarterback can't hit them.
Yeah.
You're talking about the biggest problem with Oklahoma. The offensive line is definitely number 1, and the quarterback, in my mind, is definitely number 2.
I think he's right up there in the fact that the receivers are hurt.
Well, and okay, but with the quarterback being problem number 2, problem number 3 was definitely receivers. If we see it now and we see Nick Anderson come back and they're getting better there, then he's out of excuses, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be very
I
interesting.
think we're both picking Tulane in the points, but a true OU fan like we are sees no way we lose this game.
Well, I totally disagree. Now, a true OU fan is still, even though I will say that, it's going to be majorly disappointing.
I will be so pissed off if they lose this game at home.
100%. I will be raging mad, but I don't know how you can't logically expect that.
No, I can see them, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think they have any chance unless they are much better this week.
Well, I don't. If that's the way you feel, I just don't think you can improve an offense in a week. I just don't.
I don't either.
I don't know what you can do. You can change up some schemes and run some different type of stuff, maybe. Don't do the zone read near as much, that kind of stuff, which has been a total disaster.
Okay, but here's the deal. I'm gonna stop that shit right now.
Okay.
Everybody in the country runs the zone read and the RPOs. Everybody. If our quarterback can't run zone read and RPO, he has no business even playing in high school. I think that is bullshit. I don't think they have any idea.
That is fair. Just
they run that shit in high school.
Come on. I remember one time Rattler was having trouble when he was young, freshman year, whatever it was, and they started rolling him out some.
Yep.
Why don't they do that?
I think they might.
This kid can roll out. He has speed. I mean,
I think you're going to see him run the football a lot more. Well, and I think they're going to move the pocket for it. That is one thing I would 100% say is going to happen.
Unless those offensive linemen can't move a pocket.
I think they're going to do some of that.
And I'll tell you another thing.
See more of that. Yeah.
When you see this offensive line in person, they are massive.
They look great.
But we'll see.
They look great. On the field we were watching, it was like, how are they not any good? They look amazing out there. And then they get into the game, and it's just like, first play of the game, they try to run a little jet sweep that everybody in the country tries to run, and I see it 100 times a day, and everybody gets 4 or 5 yards on it. We lose 6. As soon as the receiver touches the ball, he's down. And it's like, what is he supposed to do?
We don't have time for this, but I saw him explaining that play on the Oklahoma breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the excuse was? The defensive tackle didn't take the fake. And they obviously had seen it on film that he went with the fake, but this time he didn't. And he did what he was supposed to do, and he came through and nailed him. He was unblocked.
I watch any college football games on TV at home. I watch it. I never see that play lose 6 yards like that ever. No. I've maybe seen it once in 100 years of watching football.
Yeah.
The guy gets the ball and is immediately down.
Yeah.
So they can say whatever they want. That's a disaster. All right. Let's move on. Notre Dame and Purdue. Notre Dame, 10-point favorite here at Purdue. We'll see what happens here in this one. Notre Dame under Freeman has bounced back after those terrible losses.
Again, offensively challenged.
Yeah.
Don't know much about Purdue. They've only played 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being a nail biter. I could. If Purdue's got any offense, he could score a little bit. Staying away from it though, because I just don't know enough about Purdue.
Seems a little, yeah, that Purdue is the question mark of it. We know what Notre Dame is. Notre Dame covering 10 is always going to be a little bit questionable. That offense is not great.
That's right.
I think Purdue doesn't give them a couple scores. I think Notre Dame, I don't think they'll cover, but it's also Notre Dame versus Purdue. And it's just like.
It's
Yeah.
23-17, 24-17. I could see that.
Yeah. I kind of think it's going to be like 24-10 Notre Dame, but I'm with you. I don't want to really bet it, but I would take Notre Dame.
That's better.
Utah goes on the road this week to take on Utah State, 18.5-point favorites. I did learn in the game, we were following on our phone because we had Utah bet against Baylor with the points and they did not cover. Cam Rising got hurt in that game. I don't know the status. They're very mum on the status of Rising as of now. The line kind of tells me he's going to play, but I think it all hinges on him.
So if we don't know, you don't bet it.
I would wait until I knew 100% for sure he was going to play. Yeah.
Yes, if he doesn't play, they're not very good at quarterback. That's their weakness.
It'll be semi-close.
I don't think Utah State's any good.
Yeah.
If he plays, I think you take Utah.
Yep.
I think they blow him out.
Yep, I agree on that. Ole Miss, they haven't played anybody yet. They look good. They're 22.5-point favorites on the road against Wake Forest. I don't think Wake Forest is great, but it's at least something.
A road game. They have a pulse.
Yeah, exactly. They're much better. It's kind of like the Missouri-Boston College situation. They're much better than what they've been playing. Yeah.
They lost last week to Virginia.
Yeah.
I'd be on them a little bit more if they didn't. Give me Mississippi to cover.
I'm with you. Mississippi will cover this one as well. I agree. Texas San Antonio against Texas, 35-point favorites here for the Longhorns. If they're not flat, they should probably cover 35.
I think so.
This UTSA
is bad.
They're not very good this year. Yeah.
So it all depends. Texas ready. And they may not be.
Yeah.
They may not. But I think they're good enough to cover it anyway.
I think if you're a guy like Dennis likes to lay these games, I think this is one you play, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the thing I like about Texas, if you're going to lay 35, they can score. Right? Yeah. Like they're going to get up there and score. So, yeah. And then you saw what they did against Colorado State, 52-0, just dominated them.
Absolutely.
If you think they're ready, go get them. Rob points out, this is talking about Cam Rising, 0 points in the second half. So they were covering easy, and we kept following the game. And again, we're at the OU game. We're driving. Mm-hmm. We're trying to follow as best we can. And we look up and it's like, they're not scoring. Why aren't they scoring? What's going on? And then after the game, I go through the stat or the box score, and it's like, that's why he was out.
Yeah. They don't have a backup, and that is a problem.
Big time problem.
Yep.
Georgia and Kentucky as we keep going here. Georgia, 24-point favorite on the road against Kentucky. I scratch my head at that because it's like, really? Like South Carolina covered that last week. Georgia?
Yeah, let's move on. Georgia.
Okay.
He has no offense.
I think you'd have to be. Look, maybe they don't cover, but I think you'd have to be insane to bet Kentucky.
No, Georgia's going to play like shit.
Yeah, I would say. No line on this one. Northern Illinois and Nebraska. This is the game, believe it or not, guys. 2, 3, 4, 5, all those years ago. This might be close. It shouldn't be, though.
Shouldn't be.
If Nebraska has kind of turned the corner. This is another one of those games, believe it or not, where you look up and you go, did they win by 30 or 40? Okay, they're better than they were.
They are.
Yeah. So.
And they're taking advantage of a schedule, and that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll see if Nebraska can make it 3-0. And then Kent State and Tennessee. Tennessee 49-point favorite, probably should be. Kent State not good. Tennessee offensively. It's been scary good.
I would think Tennessee will go easy in this game. They got OU next week.
Yeah.
I could see them being ahead 42-0 at the half, and nobody plays the second half. That's the only thing. 49 points is a ton.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But I stay away from it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you dreading next week in Norman for us?
Ask me after Saturday.
Because you realize but that's it, by the way, for college football. Before we move on.
If they play well Saturday,
okay.
OU, a miracle. They turn it around, show some offense. They got a chance, but
Say they
At
beat.
this point, it's -6. No, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a first SEC game. I'll, 6, 7.
So
Not dreading.
we were kind of looking at it. Tennessee obviously is going to win. Let's pretend Oklahoma does win. There's no doubt College Game Day will be in Norman next week.
You think so?
Lock. It's a lock.
Okay. I don't like that idea.
College Game Day. It's the game of the week, primetime national stage, first SEC team or first SEC game in Norman. It could get ultra embarrassing if they're not any better. But the flip, if they're not any better, they won't win this week, and it won't
matter. Oh, they won't be there. So
it could get. I don't. I kind of cringe when I think about it.
Did you?
Any other games you want to talk about before we quickly go through the NFL?
Real quick.
Yep.
Memphis.
Okay.
Would you say they're pretty good?
Yeah, Memphis is playing Florida State this week, correct?
Yeah. Last time I looked, Florida State's 6.5 point favorite. I don't know about. Can they beat them? If they do, it's because of the uniform.
Yeah.
I really like this one. Wake Forest. The last time I checked, now these odds I checked them like Tuesday, so they may have changed.
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest is not Wake Forest.
We just talked about Wake Forest.
Okay, skip that one. All right.
Well, who were you talking about?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Who did I write? Why did I write that down that way?
Okay, now we have to look at this.
Yeah, we do.
Pittsburgh out of the ACC. We've got the ACC up. Pittsburgh taking on West Virginia. So you could
West Virginia.
Yeah.
3-point favorites at Pitt.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a tough game for West Virginia to go in there and win.
Okay.
So I like that one.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of my favorites.
Before I go on, I will say this seems like an ultra fishy line, but
it does.
I agree. Pittsburgh would be my play.
Yeah. Maryland.
Okay.
2.5 point favorite.
I saw this one.
At Virginia.
Yeah.
Maryland's not any good.
No.
I'm all over this one. Give me the
night game as well. So.
Yep. Give me the Cavaliers. Huge win last week over Wake Forest.
Yep.
I don't know the last time they've been 2-0. I'm not saying they're very good, but Maryland lost to Michigan State. I don't like Maryland at all, so I really like that one.
Okay.
Colorado is 7-point favorite at Colorado State.
I saw this one too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just all depends on if you think Colorado's any good. They barely beat them last year.
Yeah.
I think Colorado State's a little better.
I think it's a tight game. Yeah.
That's one you look at. Let's talk about the Hawkeyes.
Okay.
Tough loss. Remember, we were talking in the car. They should have been way ahead. They weren't.
Yeah.
Iowa State, big pat on the back to them to come back and get them. I got them at 22. Now it's 21.5. Same thing. I don't think they cover that. I think they're going to be flat. Troy is not. They're not as good as they have been, but they're not far off.
The Troy thing is.
Iowa is not going to be ready for this game.
That's fair.
They can't be. That's a lot of points for them.
I wish Troy was a little better.
Yeah. Indiana.
Okay.
3-point favorite when I looked at UCLA.
Yep.
No, give me UCLA.
Okay.
I don't think UCLA is very good, but I don't think Indiana goes out there and wins.
I was talking to Madison earlier, and we were talking about weird games that you just it's like, that's weird to see those two teams together on a football field. Indiana, UCLA was one of them.
Yeah.
With the new conferences, it's like,
oh, it's weird.
Indiana and UCLA, like, oh yeah, it's like a Saturday, inter-conference matchup, college basketball. Yeah. That'd be great. But it's like, how weird are these uniforms are going to look weird out there. Yeah,
I know it.
I truly have no idea what's going to happen in that
game. I just don't think Indiana can go out there and beat them. And then tonight, this is a sneaky good game tonight. Arizona State.
Texas State and Arizona State.
Texas State. Texas State is good.
Yep.
Really this is a huge game for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of those conferences. They could go undefeated. Who knows? This is a game. Arizona State's not great. I don't know what kind of fan support Texas State has, but you would think that place would be packed on a Thursday night with a Power 5 team coming in there. Give me the Bobcats. I like them tonight.
Rob's going to get you. He's going to Arizona State. This is a very good game. I'm lean towards Texas State. I don't have a strong lean either way. I'm very much looking forward to watching the game, though.
Yeah, sure. I just think crowd's going to be nuts. Huge game. They're not that good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Here's one. Rob says he likes UNLV plus 8.5 at Kansas this week.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. UNLV, I mean, listen, I don't think Houston's awful like a lot of people. I don't think they're good. That's really impressive what they did to Houston, going into Houston and winning.
Yep.
Kansas is better, though. There's no doubt. I like what Rob has here. I think 8.5 is the right number. I could see it being a 7-point game.
Yeah.
So
I can too. I like that a lot. I think it'll be a really interesting, good game.
The only thing that bothers me is Kansas. They're at home. It's a weird home situation for them this year, so that might not mean a lot. But it's a bounce back game for them. They might come out and play a little bit crisper, perhaps. I don't know. But UNLV's a pretty good team. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year.
You're good on offense. You got to have some offense when you play Kansas, and they do.
And that's the deal. If this game gets into a shootout, I think UNLV can still cover it.
And it's played at this soccer field.
Yeah, and so again, it's like they're on the road, but it's a weird situation. I don't know.
I like that pick a lot.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. All right, you want to run through NFL real quick?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, NFL. Here we go.
Let's do the big winners real quick.
Oh yeah, do it real quick. Yeah.
Detroit Lions. Great come from behind victory. Thought they were beat.
Yep.
That's a big win.
Yep.
Philly going to Brazil and winning.
Yep.
That's a huge win. Dallas. And then we'll talk about the big loser in just a minute. And how about the Steelers?
We told everybody.
I know it. They did it. Big losers.
We told everybody.
Yeah. Cincinnati.
Well, we didn't tell everybody that one.
A huge egg laid there. That's going to come back and bite them in the ass.
100%.
I know we're overreacting as usual.
Yeah.
Atlanta. New York Giants.
They're bad.
They are. And the biggest loser of all, the Cleveland Browns. And it is hilarious to see what's going on. Then he gets charged again.
No shit, I didn't see that.
Yes, he got charged again. I think this was Monday, I think.
So let's just recap. Okay. So they run Baker Mayfield out of town. And they again, and you can say what you want about him, but the years where Baker Mayfield wasn't hurt, he was adequate as a quarterback.
And he loved it there.
And he's the only quarterback they've had in the last however many years
that won a game, playoff game.
Well, and then has actually wanted to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they run him out of town, and they give the most at the time. It was the highest guaranteed money ever. A guy with a lot of problems. Let's just say.
Tons of draft picks.
Yes. So anyway, and he comes there and he was cleared to play at times and refused to play. And he's really just been awful the whole time. Joe Flacco was better than him last year. So yeah, it's not working out well. And oh, by the way, yeah, Baker Mayfield's not doing too bad right now.
No, and they love him in Tampa Bay.
And yeah, because
he's playing great.
Yeah. And it's weird.
Losers, and again, totally irrelevant, way overreact. I'm not meaning it at all.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, their teams did not look well, and they all lost. So,
sure.
But that's no knock on them. They're rookies. They're not on very good teams, and it's hard to win when you're a rookie and you're not on a very good team. I'm not knocking them at all. But it was not a good debut for any of them.
Well, let's see if they're going to bounce back. Let's talk about the games now coming up this week. And we'll start tonight with this is a hell of a game.
A really good game.
I was talking to Dennis and I don't remember somebody else. We were talking about football. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The NFL is weird. every week I feel like there's 3 or 4 games just like, hell yeah, those are gonna be
Yep.
good games. And then the
Yep.
rest of it, you don't really need to watch. So
Yep.
this is a must watch. The Dolphins at the Bills tonight. Dolphins 2.5-point favorites here at home. Both these teams win week 1. I don't think either one of them were ultra impressive. Bills may be more impressive than the Dolphins, but week 2, here we go. Thursday night. Who you like?
Josh Allen against Tua. Give me Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills since I'm getting 2.5 points.
All right, I'm going to take Dolphins. So
I know you would.
We're against
You
each
don't
other.
like Buffalo. That's okay.
It's not that I dislike Buffalo. I don't know that they're very good. I still am questionable on them. I tell you what, they were in big trouble and they won that game last week.
They
So
did.
give them a lot of credit.
You bet.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep it going. Saints and the Cowboys. Saints looked. I don't know if the Saints look good or the Panthers are just terrible. But give the Saints credit. That was a pretty impressive win.
Yeah,
the way they won it, I should say, on the
Mhm.
road against Dallas, who couldn't have been more impressive. Week 1.
They were.
Yeah.
They just kicked Cleveland's butt. Do they have a letdown? That's kind of the way this team does.
Probably. I bet they do.
I think they're going to win 6 too many. I'm going to go ahead and go with Dallas to cover.
I think Dallas will cover as well. I think they're pretty for real, honestly. After that first game, they looked really, really good. But we'll see. They kind of convinced me. That looked very, very good. But the Saints look good too, so it'll be an interesting game.
Mhm.
All right. We're both going Dallas, Buccaneers, and the Lions. The Lions 7.5-point favorites. Talk about good wins. Really good win for the Lions week 1.
Mhm.
And look, I don't know. The Commanders may not be very good, but the Buccaneers looked very good in week 1 as well. So rematch of the playoffs last year. Buccaneers went in there and were competitive. What do you think about this year?
That was a game the Buccaneers had to win.
Yep.
I said that last week. Game 1, 16-game season. They lose to Washington. They're not making the playoffs. They have to win those kind of games because of these kind of games that they have.
Yep.
And this is difficult for them to go in there and win. I'm going to take them though in the points. I don't think they win the game. But.
I took Tampa in the points as well. I cannot bet them on the money line. I just couldn't get there. But I think, the Lions, this is it's a little bit of a letdown spot after that emotional, I know it was just the first week. That's a hell of a game last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bucs can get in there and play them close.
I do too.
Let's keep going here with the Colts and the Packers. The Colts played the Texans week 1. I thought it was a really, really good game. I thought the Colts looked good. Packers, they got problems, quarterback, injuries. So 2.5-point favorites for the Colts. What do you think?
Oh, he's out.
Yeah.
Who is the backup?
If it's the same, hold on. Let me make sure it's the same as last year. Anyway, Indianapolis, Green Bay, backup quarterback. I'm trying to find. He's doubtful. Actually, he's actually listed as doubtful, so he's not going to play.
He's not going to play probably.
Yeah.
Well, I'd never bet a game. First of all, I don't know how good Indianapolis is. And I don't know who the quarterback is for Green Bay.
Malik Willis. It's the same guy as last year. Yeah, Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still going to take the Packers.
I think the Colts win pretty easy.
I'm not sure they go in there. I don't know if they can do it.
Yeah. I think the Colts win pretty easily. They look pretty good to me week 1 in that game. Just me, though. We'll see. Jets and the Titans next. The Jets, they got kind of destroyed, really, against 49ers. Yep. The Titans. Oh,
Let's
my God. They absolutely gift-wrapped the game to Chicago.
They did. They're better than that. The Jets had to play on Monday night. Now, first of all, the Jets played a juggernaut.
Yes.
So you can't take a whole lot away from them. I mean, my God, San Francisco looked fantastic. It didn't have their best offensive player. It didn't even matter.
Yeah.
God, they look good. This is really a hard one.
I don't think it is at all.
You don't?
No.
You like the Jets that well?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I don't either.
What happened?
Titans. I'm taking the Titans plus the points.
Wow. All right. And I'm taking the Jets.
I don't like the Jets.
I don't see it. I don't.
I don't like the Jets.
I don't like them either, but I hate the Titans. That was brutal. That was
They
bad.
may
All
not
right.
be able to get over that either.
49ers 5.5-point favorites against the Vikings. The shock of week 1 for me.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold was great for the Vikings.
They were. He was.
1. 5.5, that's a lot in the NFL. What do you think?
Hey, this is a sneaky game.
I agree.
Minnesota is not easy to go in there and play. Niners have a bullseye on their back, but they're the Niners. Give me the Niners to cover.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like that could have been a little bit of a smoke and mirrors type of thing with Darnold. I just don't have the confidence he's going to play that well again. So I'm with you. I got the Niners in this one. Seahawks and the Patriots next. The Seahawks, a 3.5-point favorite on the road against the 1-0 New England Patriots.
Well, I didn't get a chance to see any of the New England game. Was turnovers involved in this, or did they dominate? Or
they definitely did not dominate. I watched most of it. It was mostly just the Bengals could not do anything. Like everything looked terrible. The Patriots kind of dinked and dunked them down the field. They held on to the ball. There was a turnover or two, but the biggest thing, there was a turnover going into the end zone for the Bengals that helped. But more than anything, it was just the Bengals looked awful.
Well, the Seahawks were pretty impressive. They did what they were supposed to do. Beat Denver. 3.5 going into New England. Give me the Patriots.
I don't think either one of these teams are any good.
No, I don't either. I'm going to take the Pats plus the points.
It's like Ron said, there were turnovers in the game, but sometimes you watch a game and you go, well, they would have won, but they turned it over a couple times. This game, it's like the turnovers certainly didn't help them, but you kind of still felt like they shouldn't have won. Like, I don't know. That's the way I was.
The Patriots should never have lost. Not the Patriots. The Bengals should never have lost the Patriots. I don't care what it is.
Right, exactly. I'll take Seattle, I guess. I hate this game.
Oh, these are horrible.
Talk about a horrible game. Jesus. The Giants and the Commanders. It's in Washington. Washington, a 1.5-point favorite. I watched because of Baker. I watched a lot of Washington week 1 because they were at Tampa. And I thought at times Washington, they were okay offensively.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels was not great, but at times he was okay. There were no times at any point where the Giants okay. They were horrendous. I got to take Washington.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, Kevin. They are so bad. It's embarrassing. It really is.
I might make that a best bet. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
It's just going to be awful. We said week 1, we said, oh, this Giants game, oh, it's going to be terrible. And it was. And now might be worse this week.
I agree.
All right, let's keep going. The Chargers and the Panthers.
Oh, they're bad.
The Chargers and the Panthers. The Chargers are 6-point favorites. Now, look, this is a game. Last year, the Chargers 1,000% would lose. 1,000% the Chargers would lose.
That's right.
We're going to find out real quick. Okay, are the Chargers different under Harbaugh? Nice win to start.
Good
Can
win.
they go win this one?
Yes.
I think so, too. I think they dominate. Yeah.
But you're right. You took the words right out of my mouth. They would have lost this game last year.
1,000,000,000%.
Yep.
Yeah. Give me the Chargers, though, in this one.
Yep.
Minus the 6. The Browns and the Jaguars. Jaguars looked good for a while, and then the Jaguars. Browns look good never. The game's in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a 3-point favorite in this one. What do you think?
Wouldn't be surprised if Browns don't bounce back, but no. Too much turmoil going. Give me Jacksonville to win.
Give me the Browns plus the 3. Look out. Here they come. Just when you least expect them, they jump up and bite you. Give me the Browns. Dog pound, baby.
Well, they better win it, or they're in big trouble.
I think they'll play. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but give me the Browns. All right, give me the Raiders and the Ravens next. Baltimore, a 9-point favorite here against the hapless Oakland Raiders. Well, Las Vegas Raiders now. What do you think about this one?
If Baltimore plays as well as they played in Kansas City, they cover that. I think they do. I was pretty impressed with them in Kansas City last Thursday. I thought they played really well.
Yep.
Could've won.
I think they'll cover. This is a kind of a weird game sometimes
Yep.
where they come out and they'll play like shit and win by 3, but I think they'll cover this week. All right,
Okay.
interesting game here. Rams and the
Mhm.
Cardinals, both coming off games where they played okay, but they lost on the road. Pretty good teams, obviously. Cardinals lost to the Bills. Rams lose to the Lions. Arizona, in a shocker, a 1-point favorite right now.
Yeah. Well, the Rams have got to be kicking themselves. They had that game.
Oh, so, hey, Arizona had it too.
Yeah, they got way ahead, didn't they?
Yeah.
But the Rams were really close to winning that game, and they didn't do it.
Mhm.
Are they going to be able to get back up for this one? I'm going to take them. I can't bet. I can't pick the Rams as an underdog. I can't pick against them as an underdog.
Yeah, you can't pick the Cardinals as a favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
Well, you lose because the Cardinals win this game. Give me the Cardinals. Listen, when you
Well,
like them,
they're
the whole
Super
chat likes
Bowl.
them. No, when you like them and the whole chat likes them, I'm going the opposite way this year.
Then your Super Bowl pick is going to be 0-2. So you're already off your Super Bowl pick. Okay.
No, they're gonna rally.
Oh, well, all right.
give
Okay.
me no. That's what. Listen, Ron was talking about. Do you guys actually bet college football? Yes. Do you guys bet a lot of NFL? No.
No.
So when the whole chat's on a team, I'm going the opposite this year. That's my
Yeah.
rule for college or for NFL. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Steelers and the Broncos. Okay. Steelers. They're going to be awful. Worst team ever. Same shit we've heard the last 3 years. And they go win in Atlanta. And everybody's darling. They go beat them.
Yeah.
They don't score a touchdown and they win. This is Steeler football the last
That's
well,
right.
ever since like Big Ben and really even the last couple of years of Big Ben. Never have offense. Scratch, claw, look like shit. Wow, this team is awful. How are they winning? They just won.
They do.
Now they get the Broncos.
I like the under.
I do too.
It's awfully low anyway, but I'm looking 13-10.
They are the Iowa of the NFL.
Well, they are, and that's how they win.
Yeah.
Give me Denver if I have to pick it.
Wow, you're going to go Denver.
But I'm going under.
Steelers. Give me the Steelers.
Okay.
Give me them. Just give me them.
Okay.
All right, Bengals and the Chiefs. Chiefs 5.5-point favorites here. Listen, they're begging you. Please.
They are.
Please. How can you bet the Bengals?
Oh, no. I think this line is crazy.
I mean, I just can't bet the Bengals off of that game.
You can't. But these are the games Kansas City doesn't cover. They almost didn't cover 3 last week.
That's true.
Baltimore's better, though.
Yep.
And Kansas City's one of those teams. They see what happened with Cincinnati, and they overlook these teams sometimes.
I will say, though, they hate Cincinnati.
They do. The Bengals will bring everything they've got to this game.
Do you really? I don't know about
No,
that.
I think they will. They don't like Kansas City either.
Okay, fair.
And for a cool $142, you can get in to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Chiefs because I don't know any better.
I have to take them. Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like a sucker line, but I can't.
Seen them not covered a lot of times, but
No, I can't do it. All right, let's keep going here. Bears and the Texans. So you talked about the Bears and Caleb Williams did look awful, but at least they won.
mm-hmm.
So you pat him on the back for that. I thought the Texans looked fantastic. I mean, look, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a glamorous win, but man, to go on the road first game within the division and win that game, I thought they looked great. So obviously, me saying that, I think the Texans win this fairly easily.
Well, I think so.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't see Bears weren't that impressive. Obviously, hung in there, did win the game. That's all that counts. But this is a different animal this week.
Well, here's the deal: the Texans aren't going to beat themselves.
No,
and the Texans are going to score more than like 20 points. So, I mean, honestly, the Texans could probably get to 30 or 40.
They could.
So, if that happens,
I think the Bears defense will keep them in the high 20s.
Okay, well, if that happens, then maybe they can
They can't cover it.
They still probably can't cover. You're right. Yeah, I agree. All right, finally Monday night we got the Falcons and the Eagles. The Eagles 6.5-point favorites. You said it. That was a really nice win for them.
Really good win.
The Falcons, they lost and they didn't look great. And Kirk Cousins looked like Kirk Cousins. And
yep,
I don't give them much of a chance this week on the road.
I don't either. I think the Eagles, they go to Brazil and just contrast the trips. The Eagles got a win and came back. Green Bay got a loss and lost their quarterback. So it was not a good trip to Brazil for Green Bay, unless he can, it sounds like he's not hurt too bad. But anyway, if the Eagles come out and play. Now, one thing about it, I don't have Peacock, so I didn't mess around to try to get it because I didn't care. I don't know. You probably watched it. They gave up a lot of points, so I don't know whether their defensive problems are solved yet.
They played a good offense. That's part of it. They didn't look great defensively. No.
Yeah. So say they come out and they don't play well offensively. Obviously, they did have a good offensive game.
Mm-hmm.
6.5 in the NFL. That's quite a few.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take them to cover it.
A couple of questions before we get off of here. Dennis said, let me ask you this. If Atlanta looks as hapless as they did this week, do they go to Michael Penix? What do you think?
Paying, what's his name, a lot of money.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen too soon, I don't think. Money gets in the way sometimes.
Yep. Wouldn't think.
Yeah. They should have won that first game, though. That was a bad one.
Do you think Caleb Williams can score a touchdown this week?
Now, I don't care whether he can. Why not?
Yeah.
I guess he could. I don't know.
Chances are he will, I would say.
They got to get close to the end zone first.
That would be a good start.
He will play better as it goes along. I wouldn't worry about him yet. It helped that they won the game.
Yeah, I agree.
So
at least they won. Yeah. But, as far as you mentioned it, Nix, Daniels, and obviously Caleb did not play well week one. Who do you think out of the three could bounce back this week?
Well, I'm hoping Nix does.
I think that's a tough matchup to bounce
It is with the Steelers.
Yeah. I think Daniels just because who they're playing.
He's playing a shitty team. Yeah. And he wasn't bad down at Tampa. He showed some moments. So I would go with him as well. Of the three, because the Steelers have such a good defense. Nix is going to have trouble with that.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with Shoddy. Jaden Daniels really wasn't horrible.
No, he wasn't horrible.
You couldn't look at it and say, oh, he played great either, but he was okay.
Tampa's defense is not bad.
Yeah. Here, Ricky wants to know, have we changed our minds on Lincoln Riley early on? He's got 2 wins.
Yeah. Okay. We said before the season this was going to define him, kind of.
Yeah.
And, I'm not ready to do it yet, but the team I saw, and I don't know how good LSU is. We're just going to have to see down the road.
So that could be a big time question mark, right?
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
But they went toe-to-toe with them physically.
They did, yeah.
And they've changed. What people don't get, when you have a dynamic personality in your locker room and a little bit of a strange cat in Caleb Williams, we can all agree Caleb's a little bit out there. You tend to, and the locker room tends to kind of just sway towards him, or they sway against him, and it kind of is a distraction. He becomes bigger than the team. You get rid of that, and now you're a team again. Now you don't have that dynamic character.
Fair, yep.
And they have found a guy at quarterback that has steadied them from what I've seen. I was so impressed at the way he acted against LSU.
Yeah.
You rally around this and you play better when you don't have that superstar that you're depending on to do everything for you.
I agree.
Defensively, I don't know what they've done. I don't know how good these offenses are. I'm assuming Utah State's not very good, and I don't think LSU is either.
Mm-mm.
But their defense they're physical. They're where they're supposed to be. They're not missing tackles. They don't look like they have zero idea what they're doing. So they look different. So we'll see. Right now, I have to admit, they look entirely different than what I've seen his teams look like.
I definitely don't think they could have won the LSU game in the last couple of years with how they were.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I
don't know.
Last week, I've seen Oklahoma, when he was Oklahoma, they would hold teams to, that team like that down. So I don't really take much.
Go ahead, finish.
Well, I don't take much into last week, but the first week, I thought they looked much better. Yeah.
I will say this. He is the best offensive coordinator I've seen.
He's very good.
I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
I've seen this. I will never forget the Texas game when they got so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
That was the greatest job of play calling I have ever seen. He was so patient.
Yep.
He is so patient in those kind of games. And when he has a team that can run the football, most people don't realize this guy likes to run the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got away with that with Caleb. It was just all him.
Yes.
And he likes to run the ball. Mm-hmm. And that drive he made to beat LSU, that was vintage Lincoln Riley. He is so good on those kind of drives.
Yeah.
The guy is a great offensive mind. Whether this continues, I don't know.
And that's why I know that he threw the OSU game that week.
That was pretty bad.
Because he called terrible plays on purpose to get us beat so he could leave the next night. Anyway.
It'll depend on what happens. I don't know that anybody could have controlled Caleb Williams. I really don't. I don't know. And I'm not against Caleb. I think he's going to make a good pro and he'll be fine. But
I am there's certain things about Caleb Williams where it's like, oh man, what a kid he kind of is. And there's certain things like, I don't know about this guy. Like, so when Lincoln Riley left, we had no quarterback other than Caleb Williams for the bowl game that year.
Yeah, and he stayed.
And 99% of guys would just leave.
Never would have left. Or never would have
Caleb Williams stayed and played in the bowl game knowing he was leaving Oklahoma. And like that, I don't care what you say about that is a high character move.
Yeah, he stayed because he knew they had nothing.
And imagine how
I don't think he had totally made up his mind to leave yet.
Yeah, but a lot of guys they wouldn't play.
Oh, no, they would have bolted.
And he played.
Yeah.
And I gotta give it up to him. But as that season wore on, you kind of saw he's a little strange. And there's sometimes you don't really know what he's gonna do. And
can we say maybe that, and I don't mean this in a bad way either, winning the Heisman and then coming back for that next year and gave him a little bit of entitlement and maybe a little bit of the big head? Maybe.
I don't know, because you look at it and go, well, shit, they scored all kinds of points. It's not like he was a problem.
Right.
It's like, you get a defense, they may have won the whole thing,
Yeah. Yeah, I think he took way too much blame. And I think if he hadn't been crying in his mother's arm, we wouldn't be talking about this.
That's what started the whole thing. And I don't care what anybody says. That's what everybody was like, I don't know if that's good or bad or what that is, but that's weird as hell. So
it was weird. I'm sorry. It was weird. Yeah. It was very weird.
It is weird. I've never seen that. That's weird.
No.
And I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm just saying out in public, like, oh, it's crazy. It's nuts. So
that's pretty bad.
But the original question, through 2 weeks, he looks good talking about Lincoln Riley and his team, but he does.
He does.
Ways to go. So
yeah.
All right. We got it off here because I got to get another show at 1:00.
We got to get off here then.
Shoddy brought up who do you like in the Iroquois? Find out in about 35 minutes.
There you go, Shoddy.
We'll talk about that race. It's going to be fun.
I like the Navajos over the Iroquois.
Navajos over the Iroquois. There you go. Final.
Or the Mohicans.
All right. I'm going to get off here. I got to get prepared for the next one. Got to eat a little lunch as well.
Okay. Me too.
So we're going to go. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Good luck, everybody betting NFL and college. Should be another fun week. Every week is really fun.
It is.
During football season. It's always something going on. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
This is due to Bet Sports.